My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Silence. And I know I call lots of Scorsese movies too long, boring, and overrated, so it might shock people, but I think this is one of his best movies. I think it is great. I love it. Let's begin talking about the cast, and Andrew Garfield is phenomenal here. Back in 2016, he was nominated for an Oscar for Hacksaw Ridge, and rightfully so, but I think this performance is still more deserving. He just carries this movie so incredibly well. He has to do a lot, and he pulls it off flawlessly. I was just really impressed by the weight he brought this movie. Really amazing performance. Then you've got Adam Driver, and I think he does a fine job. I do like how he's the character with doubts, and well, his character progresses too. I thought that was really well done. He doesn't have much to work with, but I still thought he was fine. Then you've got Ted Newby Asano, who I think did a very good job. You've got Liam Neeson, who's barely in this movie, but I was impressed. You can just see the shame he feels in moments, and I thought he brought a lot of complexity to his character. Yusaki Kabazuka plays this weak, pathetic man, and I really like what they do with his character, and I thought he pulled it off flawlessly. And then you've got Icy Ogata, who is the main villain, I would say, of this story, and he's just phenomenal here as well. Like, he is menacing, but also not what you'd expect from him, and I thought he added so much to this movie. So the entire cast is fantastic. The movie is directed incredibly well by Martin Scorsese. I do love the way this movie begins with lots of noise and then silence. And then it says silence. Just perfect. I think this movie is beautifully shot. Like, the cinematography by Rodrigo Prieto, just top notch. And I think the harshness of the environments is captured so incredibly well, very effectively, and you can just feel the physical and psychological toll this experience is having on our main character. It's just captured so perfectly, and I think the deliberate pacing really enhances this movie. And then we get to the story, and I think this is a fantastic movie that explores faith and conviction and suffering and many other ideas. This is a movie that asks difficult questions and doesn't give any easy answers. Like, can you actually make a difference in a culture resistant to change? How much should one man go through? How much pain and suffering should he go through for his faith? Is the stronger man who apostolizes late any better than the man who apostolizes early on? Is the pain and suffering needed for their convictions to be true? Do weak people deserve forgiveness? And at what point does it stop being brave and noble, and does it become selfish? And is it like selfless or selfish? Like, there's so many questions you can ask throughout this movie about everything going on, and it can just open the door to tough discussions. Like, after this movie ended, me and my brother chatted about it for a good amount of time, and I just think there is so much to this movie that despite the long runtime and the slow pacing, I was never bothered because the movie always left you thinking about something. And I love how Adam Driver and Liam Neeson represented two possible choices, two possible outcomes for our lead. And I do think this movie is emotional when it needs to be. You feel the weight, and I love the way this movie ends. It ends in a way where it makes you think about your relationship with God. If you're silent about it, does it exist? And I really like the final shot of this movie. So, yeah, like, I just think this movie does everything so incredibly well. That said, this is a very long movie, and I feel like it could have been trimmed down a little bit. The first hour does drag. I feel like they could have done some trimming there, and then the last 10 minutes, I understand the purpose. Pacing wise, I feel like it could have been trimmed down a little bit. But, and it's not a movie I'll rewatch often, but it's still a movie I plan on buying. It's still a movie I will watch again. It's one of Scorsese's best. It's so incredibly well made. It's beautifully shot. It's emotional. It's effective. It has so much substance. It's very thoughtful in everything it's trying to do. The performances, especially Andrew Garfield, Yuzaki Kubuzuka, and Icy Ogata, and Liam Neeson, are beyond impressive. I love this movie. I really do. So I'll give Silence an 8 out of 10. See, I liked this movie when I first watched it, but it's one that I understand it better now that I'm older, and now I've come to love it. But Silence, have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin,